What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are talking safety. We're talking about protecting our greatest asset, the moneymaker, if you will. Today, we're talking helmets. I have two of my favorite helmets here with me, and we're going to talk about the pros and cons to each one of these, but I'm thinking about adding a third helmet to my lineup, and I want to hear your opinion. So if you want to talk helmets, if you are rocking or have experience rocking a modular helmet, particularly the Simpson Mod Bandit or the Bell SRT Modular, I want to hear from you. So let's get into it. Today, we're coming to you live from the Handlebar. This is our personal home bar, a place that we enjoy entertaining friends, a place that we come and just chill. And frankly, it's the place that the ideas for content on this channel, many of them have started right here in this space. So welcome to the Handlebar. Today, we're talking helmets. I have with me the Bell Race Star DLX Flex and the Bell Eliminator. These are two of my most favorite helmets. I have become very brand loyal to Bell throughout the entirety of my life. When I was younger, started racing motocross, Bell was kind of the top of the helmet game. For a season in life, I raced bicycles competitively, and I had a partnership with Giro, which is Giro Bell. They're the same company. And so when I got back into riding motorcycles quite a bit, it was a no-brainer for me to go with Bell. They've been in the game a very long time, and I think they produce just a high-quality product. And so I have two of those here with me today and want to talk about my thoughts on these two helmets. I have logged many, many miles in both, and have some pros and cons that want to share with you today. Want to start with just some bullet point style specifications about each helmet. The Race Star is a full carbon fiber helmet. The Eliminator is a fiberglass composite shell. There are 5 shell sizes in the Race Star and 3 in the Eliminator. There are 6 liner sizes in the Race Star, and I think only 5 in the Eliminator. Both of these helmets are DOT and ECE safety rated, so both helmets offer extremely great safety ratings and technology that are implemented into both. The Eliminator is actually a smidge bit lighter than the Race Star, and it is noticeable in the hand. You can definitely feel the difference, but both are still extremely light helmets coming in at or below 3.5 pounds. So we have experience with both helmets. We really like both. The Race Star has a chin vent, a vent just above the brow, and a vent for exhausting heat in the rear. The Eliminator is just open vents in the chin and up top, no ventilation in the back. One of the things that I would consider a con of the Eliminator is that you cannot open or close these vents. They are simply open all the time. With the Race Star, you can close those vents and work a couple different combinations based upon your needs. The Eliminator the Eliminator here, they say retail is around $330. I find it a little bit more than that most cases. This helmet has been remade. This is the first generation. Although, if I'm being honest, I can't really find much difference between the first generation and the second generation. I was hoping that as part of the remake, there would be an option to close these vents. However, that didn't happen. The only noticeable change that I can see are just some additional colorways. I came to the Race Star helmet because I kept waiting on the new release of the second generation Eliminator. I dropped this helmet and it had been well loved and used anyway, and so I really wanted a replacement. And one of the things that I would critique Bell full face street helmets for is they have some entry level options. They have the top of the line Race Star, but they really struggle with that mid-weight, middle level helmet category. They have $100 helmets and they have $900 helmets. This helmet retails for around $900. And they really miss in that middle sector. So that is why I was waiting around very patiently for a year and a half for the new release of the Eliminator helmet, which never came. And so I finally pulled the trigger on the Race Star. Now, I will say that this is one of those areas in life where you get what you pay for. I talk to folks all the time who say, I can't believe you wear a full face helmet. Like, I've tried full face helmets and they just, over time on those longer rides, I struggle with fatigue and it hurts my neck. And I would bet that if I took that conversation a step further and I asked the person how much they paid for their helmet, I would bet 8 out of 10 times people who are dealing with fatigue and discomfort on long rides probably are wearing a very inexpensive $100, $150 full face helmet. What I have found is that these helmets do cost a little more money, but they are super comfortable on the long haul. This particular helmet, the Race Star, I did a 2,100 mile trip over the course of a few days last May and never experienced fatigue or soreness or discomfort in this helmet. I have also traveled many miles in the Eliminator, and I find it to be maybe even more comfortable than the Race Star. Both of these do cost a pretty penny, but they are also very comfortable on those longer rides. So talking about comfort, the Eliminator is a snug fit, but is a bit more comfort oriented than the Race Star. This one is still, like I said, a snug fit, but just the way it's designed, it's very retro in its styling. It kind of throws back to the 70s drag racing days. I love that aesthetic. And it also fits very comfortably. The Race Star, on the other hand, is a premium performance helmet. It is snug and it is plush. When you put this helmet on for the first time, it will feel very, very snug, maybe even uncomfortably snug. Both of these helmets Bell classifies as an intermediate oval. And for me, in my head shape, I likely should be wearing an elongated oval, but those are a little harder to come by. And because of that, anytime I get a new Bell helmet, I know the first few weeks are going to be uncomfortable. And I definitely found that to be true with the Race Star. The first few weeks, I would actually grimace when I took this helmet off. It was painful. It hurt my ears coming off. No matter how hard I pulled on the chin straps to try to alleviate that pain, it is painful until you, at least for me, until I got this helmet broken in. And another thing that I find with folks who are not really accustomed to how a helmet should fit properly is they try that helmet on in the store for the first time and they think, oh, it's too tight, and they size up. Well, then what happens is you end up with a helmet that is too loose and frankly will not serve its fullest potential, heaven forbid, in an accident because you sized up on the day you bought it in the store. For me, in this helmet, I wear a size medium, and that's pretty true to my helmet size. I've always kind of been between a small and a medium. But after I wore this helmet for about a month, it settled in, the cheek pads and things contoured to my face shape, and it's perfectly fine to put on, take off these days. no problem. So I would anticipate that probably being the same for you, and probably with any full face helmet. It's going to be a little more uncomfortable on the forefront, but after some time, it's going to break in and going to fit you like a glove. That's what it's designed to do. If you put a helmet on and you can shake your head side to side, if that helmet wobbles at all, it is not the right size. You don't want any movement when you shake your head side to side in your helmet. In order for it to fit properly and to function properly in the event of an accident, you want that thing to be good and snug. With that said, both of these helmets are phenomenal. I love them both. I want to get into a couple of quick critiques. I love the Eliminator. I love the styling. One of the things I love about the styling, it has these 9 vent holes at the top. This helmet breathes. It is so comfy and cool in the summertime. But that leads me to a critique. There's no way to close these vents off. So if you get caught in a rainstorm, there's no way to close these vents off. You're going to get water in the top. It takes a little time for the water to really start seeping in, but it will start seeping in a sustained rainstorm. Bell does sell a plastic cover that you can put over the top of these. I ordered the cover, but I assumed that it would clip into the holes in some way. It doesn't. It is an adhesive plastic cover that goes on and stays on, and for that reason, I chose not to install it. The other thing that I don't love about this helmet is it requires 2 Allen wrenches to remove this visor. I have very sensitive eyes, and so I want the darkest shield possible when I'm riding during daylight hours. And that proves to be somewhat problematic when I leave the house and it's daylight and I know I'm coming home after dark. Ordinarily, I would throw a clear shield in the saddlebag and would just swap them out. However, with this helmet, it requires, I believe it's an 8mm and a 2.5mm Allen to swap out the visor. And so that generally means when I'm traveling home at night, I'll ride with the visor up and a pair of clear glasses on, which is fine, unless it's cool out or it's raining or there are lots of bugs. It's very noisy riding with the shield open. And so not an ideal scenario, but not a game changer. One of the things I will say about this shield, I have never, and I mean never, had this visor fog up on me, and that is huge. I've ridden in cold weather. I've ridden in hot, humid rain. Never has this visor fogged up on me. I forget the technology behind that, but it's almost like a built-in pin lock system. The visor is made with 2 different layers, and it works remarkably well. One of my critiques about the Race Star is that this visor does fog up regularly and doesn't take much to do so. I've gotten used to it and kind of figured out some ways to mitigate that, but this one does fog up. And to be frank, I found that to be pretty frustrating right out of the gate, considering this is a top-of-the-mark helmet that costs around $900, and this one for that $400 to $500 mark has a visor that doesn't fog ever. I do love how on the Race Star, the shields are interchangeable. You press 2 buttons, it releases, you pop the shield off, you pop a new one on, easy breezy. I do love this helmet. This has become my primary helmet. We have loaded up the Cardo Pack Talk on both of these helmets, actually. This one, the 45mm JBL speakers fit in no problem. The Eliminator, again, this is the first generation, but on this helmet, to accommodate the 45mm JBL speakers, we had to take a Dremel tool and remove some of the foam on the inserts or on those speaker pockets to accommodate the larger speaker. I love both of these helmets. I'm a huge Bell Helmets fan. And in fact, I am contemplating adding a modular helmet to my arsenal and am looking at the Bell SRT modular. My only real hesitation with that is it's a pretty heavy helmet. It comes in at almost 4 pounds, where this one is closer to 3, and this one is 3.5. And so I'm a bit concerned that that half pound is going to make more of a difference, or a more noticeable difference. I've seen a lot of you out there rocking the Simpson helmets. Again, another name that's been in the helmet industry for a very long time. And so I'm considering the Simpson Mod Bandit. Curious if any of you are using a modular helmet at all, or one of those two, the Simpson Mod Bandit or the Bell SRT Modular. Would love to hear your comments, your thoughts on a modular helmet in general, but specifically maybe those two. If you have experience with them, would love to hear from you in the comments below. Whatever helmet you choose is entirely up to you. I think helmets take on a very personal feel in that everybody's head is shaped different. Everybody's comfort criteria is different. And so maybe there's no one size fits all helmet. And so just kind of curious what your thoughts are. By no way, shape, or form am I lobbying that full face helmets are the only way to go. As you see in a lot of my videos, all of my friends that I ride with regularly are wearing half helmets. And if we're just hopping on the bikes and running up the street for lunch or around town, I'm very likely to grab my half helmet as well. If you live in a state where there are no helmet laws, I am not judging in any way your decision to not wear a helmet. This is a free country. You have been gifted free will at birth, and so it's your right to choose what helmet you wear or don't wear. When we are in states without helmet laws, again, if we're just running down to the local store or to a spot close by, I sometimes just hop on the bike, turn my hat around backwards, and ride on. So just because we're talking about full face helmets here today doesn't mean I'm passing any judgment on those who choose to wear anything other than full face helmets. I will tell you, if we are getting on the highway, I will always have a full face helmet on. It's just what makes me comfortable. I also, as you know, ride a Road King Special. So I don't have a full fairing. I don't have electronics. I don't have speakers. And all of those are made up for me in these Cardo Pack Talks. And I love having that in my helmet for navigation, for music, for communication purposes. So all that to say, whatever you choose to do with helmet, that's up to you. You do you, you ride your ride. We're just happy to be out there riding with you. That's going to do it for today. If you haven't already, I would love for you to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Here at Rev Moto NC, we just love sharing our passion for all things two wheels. We love to share our rides, the rally experiences. We talk about parts and accessories and things like helmets. And so we'd love to have you join us on this journey. If you would, hit that bell icon so that you are among the first to know when we post new content. For those of you who have subscribed and are following along with us, huge thanks to you and your commitment to this channel and this journey that we're on together. So that's going to wrap it up today. Thanks for sticking around this long. Here on this channel, we have a saying as we part ways each and every time. And so wherever you are today, friends, let's keep them revved up. Mind, body, spirit. We'll see you next time.